Welcome to another edition of For the Health of It. I'm your host, Corian Paget, and I have with me today, LaTasha Estus. LaTasha, how you doing?
Hi there. I'm doing good.
Good
Thank
deal.
you.
Good deal. Now, LaTasha, you compete in bodybuilding. So can you explain that a little bit for us? Explain how you got into bodybuilding?
Okay, so yes, I do compete in the NPC,
Mm-hmm.
and I do the Bikini division. So there's several women's divisions, and I have been competing since 2018.
Okay. Okay, good deal. Good deal. So what got you into competing?
So I've always wanted to. My husband used to go to the gym and would lift, and I just would go. and he always encouraged me to, to try to lift, and I just wasn't interested. The more and more I went to the gym with him, I got really interested, and and just trying to figure out, like, what could I do to change my body
Mm-hmm.
without changing my eating habits.
Right.
So that was the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first thing, and then later on we'll talk about it, but you'll see how that doesn't work.
Right. Okay. So what gym do you train at?
Okay, so I actually train at two different gyms.
Mm-hmm.
I work in South Jackson,
Okay.
and so I train 2 to 3 times a week at Quest Fitness, the South location on Highway 18.
Okay.
And then the rest of the time, I train at the Madison Healthplex.
Okay. Good deal.
Yes.
So, what's your full-time occupation?
I am a nuclear medicine technologist.
Now, you're gonna have to explain that for us.
So, what I do functional studies, and I use radioactive isotopes. So what you have learned in school on the periodic table, I'm using those, some specific agents to inject the body, and it allows us to determine if it's functioning properly.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. So, how did you get into that?
I was working as a computer programmer, got laid off, needed another field. I wanted something, that was hospital related, but also related to computers.
Yeah.
So we use computers to process these images. So I kind of felt like I had the, like a good, happy medium.
Okay. So, what did you major in?
So I originally have my bachelor's degree in computer science,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I worked at WorldCom until it ended.
Okay.
And then I went back to UMC for 2 years for radiology and 1 year for nuclear.
Okay. And do y'all find, so part of your occupation, is it like finding cures for different diseases? Or?
So we detect, we can diagnose whether a patient has cancer, and then we do treat thyroid cancer patients.
Gotcha.
By giving them a pill. But we also do just your routine studies, like, people come in and they're not able to keep their food down, so we can tell whether or not their stomach is functioning. We do pre-op clearance for your heart, for different surgeries. So we do pretty much anything and everything in your body.
Okay.
We can test it.
Okay. So we talked about what got you into the sport. What is your mental state like when you are working out?
Ooh. So I usually like to get up and train at 4:30 in the morning, but because of all of this, things have changed a lot. So
Right.
I've had to do the majority of my workout at home, and then I'm just now starting to bring it back to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But it's peaceful. Lifting is actually it's pretty peaceful. So I like it because I'm working by myself. I'm training by myself, and I don't know. I mean, it's nice.
Okay.
I just yeah. I feel very strong. I feel strong in
Gotcha.
the gym. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, what's your biggest bench press, squat, and deadlift?
Ooh. I don't bench because I've had a shoulder injury, but like squatting, I don't know if I've kept up with it.
Okay.
I can squat. Let's just say I can squat a lot. I can squat a lot more than the average. When I go into the gym, they usually know. They're like, "Yeah, that's hers."
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you kind of go into your training program almost? Because you know most male bodybuilders and the male bodybuilders that are is it physique? When
Well, there's several. You have heavy, you have physique, you have classic physique. There's different categories with the male competitors
okay, so
that are different.
gotcha. So when you're working out and you're training for a show coming up,
Hmm.
what is your training program looking like, sets and rep wise, and also the percentages of weight?
I have a coach, and she gives me my training program.
Gotcha.
So it looks different throughout the year.
Okay.
So when I'm on off season, we go really heavy. And so we do I would say less reps,
Mm-hmm.
so that you have the opportunity to do heavier. But during the competition season, like right now,
Right.
I'm gearing up for one. And so I do 6 days, and we split it up into different body parts. So right now, today, it may be shoulder and abs. Then I'll do ham and calves.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of break it up so that so we don't really overwork one particular muscle group.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's pretty much, like, I don't do any of the training myself.
Gotcha.
It's given to me by a professional who's been doing it for over 10 years.
Okay.
Is at the top of her game. So and then she also gives me my meal plans.
Gotcha. Does she compete also?
She does. She no longer competes. She is a pro,
Okay.
but she no longer competes. But she has several pros under her that also coach.
Okay. So what is the difference between the NPC and then the IFBB?
So those are different leagues. So one is the international league. That's with the IFBB.
Okay.
And so the other one, the NPC, is the league in which I am a part of. So I am not international at this point.
Okay. Is that your goal though?
My goal would be to turn pro. That's what I'm working on, and to be able to compete across, just any and everywhere that I'm able to.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So how does it work? Like, because I know there's almost like a point total that you have to hit, like a threshold almost that you have to hit. Well, how does that work?
You mean to become?
Yes, to become a pro.
Okay, so you have national shows,
Mm-hmm.
and national shows are where you become, you actually can get your pro card.
Gotcha.
So each show tells the competitors how many pro cards they're going to give out.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I am in the Masters female competitor division for Bikini. So they may say for each class, which would be sectioned by height.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 5'1", so I would be in class B, and they would give one pro card for that whole class, no matter how many is in it.
Gotcha.
So it just depends on the show how many cards they have to give out. Sometimes it's only one card for one division. So you may have 30, 40 competitors and only one card.
Right.
Just depends.
Okay. Gotcha. So you said no, go ahead.
But to back it up, so first you would do a local show, your regional show.
Mm-hmm.
So we have several here. And I have competed in those. So you would do that. And then once you either come in top 5, either top 5, usually they would want you to win your class, and then you could move on and you'd be qualified to go to a regional show. I'm sorry, not a national show. And then from that national show is where you would get the opportunity to win.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
So when is your next competition?
So I had one scheduled here July 11th.
Right.
And that just got postponed to 2021. So the next one that I am hoping I get to do is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that's in September.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we shall see.
Well, what's the highest you ever placed?
Okay, so last year was my first time going to a national show, and I did not place.
Gotcha.
My locally, I have placed first. So
okay.
Our goal this year is to place and to actually take home a pro card. So we'll see.
All right, good deal, good deal. So how often you've been in it for about 2 years now? So what's the most competitions you ever did in 1 year?
So, well, it'll actually be 3 years that I've been competing.
Okay.
So actually what happens, you train all year and you usually do about 1 or 2 shows.
Gotcha.
So, and it really just depends on when you're getting ready. Now for me, I did 2 my first year, and then the second year I did 1, and then last year I did 2.
Okay. Okay.
So my goal this year is to do as many as I can get.
Yeah. Given the circumstances, I can
exactly.
Yeah. So with that being said, what was the biggest competition you ever competed in? Was that the show in Pittsburgh?
The one in Pittsburgh. It was a 3-day show.
Okay.
But my actual contest, my portion of it was 1 day, and it was all day. They usually are, but it was, I would say, at least 100 girls backstage.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
So is it cramped back there, or what is
oh yeah, you are standing in a spot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody is either in rows, bikinis, but we're all standing or sitting in this much space. Like it's yeah. Okay. You can barely walk. It's deep. It's deep.
So
that was the most that I had ever seen. Right. Usually the local shows, there may be 20, 25, 30 altogether. Yeah.
Were you nervous that day?
Oh yeah, totally nervous. They had carpet. I'm used to not being on carpet, so that was a bit. Yeah, so that was totally different. And it was the biggest thing I had ever attended, and so it was very intimidating. You have pros that are there already. So you have girls that have been doing this for years that that are one place away from getting their card. So a lot of experienced women back there, but it was fun.
Right. Okay, good deal. So can you talk to me about the pre-judging and judging stages?
Exactly. So there's 2 parts of every show. You have pre-judging, and that's when you get ready early in the morning, you get your tan, hair, and makeup, and this is where they bring you out and you do your individual routine, and they judge you individually, and then they also judge you with all the rest of the girls or contestants that are in your class, and then you get scored.
Right.
And then from there, they'll decide whether or not you're coming back to the night show. Now, everyone usually comes back to the night show, but not everybody competes in the night show. So if you placed and you're in the top 10 or in the top 5, then you're in the night show. So you'll actually do your routine again for the audience, and then you will actually compete against the other competitors that were in the top 10. So
Okay.
they'll move you around until they decide on who is number one. And usually they have an idea in the prejudging.
Right.
Usually you already know,
Right.
but you could come back to the night show and not look as good as you did, or someone could come and look even better.
Gotcha.
So you still have an opportunity to move up or get moved out.
Gotcha. So when they moving people on the stage, like they are,
They're comparing.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So that necessarily where you are on the stage, does that determine your place?
It does. So in the middle would be first, and then some shows to the right would be second, and to the left would be third, and again fourth and fifth on the outside.
Gotcha. Okay, because I was looking at somebody had sent me a video, and I was like, man, there's a guy way over here, but you're sitting in the middle, so
right. So in the middle, you want to be in the middle box. So everyone's usually people will say center box, or middle box. You want to be in the box because if you're in the box, then you have placed.
Okay. So what are some of the different poses that you do?
So with the female in the one, so I do bikini. So it's totally different from the physique or any of the other classes or divisions. Let me say that, divisions. So with us, we don't necessarily have named poses. So what we do, we give a front pose, and you can choose what you want your front pose to be based on your shape.
Right.
And then you also want to give a back pose, and that's to show again your glutes, your hamstrings. And then again, you'll give another front pose. So for us, we're giving a routine that's usually less than 15 seconds. Okay. And it's just to show off those particular things. Your shoulders, we're known for shoulders, smaller waist, glutes, round glutes, and nice hamstring tie-in. So
okay, all right.
Well, that's our to-go.
You mentioned the classes. So what kind of classes, or what are the different classes that they have for the female category?
Okay, so classes would be A, B, and C, and D. So for bikini, you have four, maybe depending on how big the show, how large the show is, you would have 4 or 5 classes. Those classes are by height. So for bikini, you will have, let's say, A through D. That would be height. And then it's based on age. So it would be 35 and under for A with that height. 35 and under B would be for a particular height. So it goes on and on and on until you've moved into masters. I compete in open and in masters, meaning I compete against any age. And then I also compete with women that are 35 and older, and also 40 and older.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So do you think the judgment seems biased at times, or do you feel like it's pretty fair?
Everyone has their favorite. With bikini, it's it's everyone's, it's up to their own judgment. Right. The point system comes in, and it's based practically on your opinion, your opinion of what you think looks great.
Right.
So that sometimes can be the hardest thing when you compare yourself to another competitor. There really isn't a scorecard that says, okay, her shoulders are such and such inches, or her waist is 24. There's not a real category or way of scoring. It's basically about symmetry and presence, and an overall look, and all of that is given a number. And then from there, at the end, they take off for errors. And then all together, they come up with a number, and it'll say if you should be 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then they'll count up how many people decided you should be 1. And so forth, and they come up with where you should be placed.
And what are some of those errors that can be?
So some of the no-nos, they've gone back and forth, There's new rules. So for bikini, they don't want your hand out to the side too far out. So that would be a mark that they would kind of, take a percentage or half a point off. I'm not really sure how they score that, but that would be a negative. Sometimes showing too much of your back, if you have hair, if you have a muscular back, because we're not known for showing our back. So that could be a negative. Not posing and showing off a particular part could be a negative. Hair and makeup is a negative.
Right.
Your tan is a negative. You can have a bad tan. If it's green and streaky. So all of those are negatives.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your eating habits and your diet.
Okay.
You said you first started training, you wanted to see how hard you could train without having to change your diet.
Yes.
Can you go into that?
Yeah, so I love pizza. I love pizza and I love fries. But I've always been naturally small, but I've been skinny fat. Like I never had definition. I never really had any muscles. So actually trying to train and not really feed your body, with what you need to actually lift, you have to eat clean. You have to feed your body and your muscles. And so I was just eating junk, and I would go into the gym and try to lift, and it wasn't doing anything.
Gotcha.
But this is my second trainer. So I had another trainer, and she pushed me as far as I could go, with her. And then I felt like I could not stay on task. So what I needed was someone who could give me the food that I enjoyed eating and could still keep me on my meal plan, and I could be successful in the gym.
Right.
And so that's when I got with my current coach. And my food is amazing. Like I love every meal. I eat 5 times a day. And I love each and every last meal. I eat 5 meals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the caloric intake looking like?
So it varies. Right now, let's look. I was gonna see if I could pull it up. Right now, I think I'm probably at 1580. I'm probably at 1580.
Okay.
Calories.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
No. But the thing is, like just yesterday, I had a refeed, which is something that's not on my plan.
Right.
And so I had a burger and fries. And so I had, so of course I had well over, my burger alone was like 500. My fries alone were like 300. So yesterday would have been a day, it was like 22 or more.
Gotcha.
So it's like that. Usually I've been getting 2 a week. I just bumped up to 2 a week.
Okay. So what motivates you while you're getting ready for a show?
I think I really would say my check-ins.
Okay.
When my coach is amazing, and she's always telling me that, keep pushing, that I'm doing a good job, even when my numbers, even when I weigh, and we don't keep track per se of my weight, because weight is not like everything.
Right.
But we just use it as a tool, as a guide.
Right.
And even when my weight goes up and I know that I've done everything I'm supposed to do, she's still good with it, because she knows that I've been doing what I should do.
Okay.
What I'm supposed to be doing. So I think really just going in and knowing that that I have a goal, and that I have several people that are following me, and they're rooting for me, and I want to set a good example.
Right. Okay. So go ahead and shout out your coach because you mentioned her a couple of times. Go ahead.
Well, her name is Casey Marshall, and she's with Team Boss Bodies.
Gotcha.
Well, Boss Bodies, and and Team Boss Bodies. That's our little hashtag.
Gotcha. So one question we always like to ask here on For the Health of It is,
okay.
What is your why? Why are you a neuromedicine? Say it for me.
Nuclear medicine?
Nuclear medicine tech?
Yeah. Yes, nuclear medicine.
Why are you a nuclear medicine? Why are you that? And also, why are you a Zumba teacher, and why are you competing?
Okay. My nuclear medicine, I really enjoy helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is one of the things like I was put on earth to do, is to help.
Gotcha.
And I enjoy making people feel good. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I have the opportunity to make someone who is ill or that has gotten really bad news to make their day by coming in and doing an exam, and me just totally taking care of them, that just, I mean, it speaks volumes. I enjoy what I do. And so that, I mean, that's my why. Like, I enjoy giving back and taking care of people.
That sounds good.
And for Zumba, that feeds my soul, because I love I love music. I love everything about music and dance. And you can't dance and not smile.
Right.
You just can't. Yeah. I'm just sorry. I don't care what kind of song comes on. Like, if it makes you feel good at some point, like, I don't care how hard the rap is, like, you gonna smile. Like, right. So again, it's the same. What'd you say?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but how long have you been doing Zumba?
I've been teaching since 2011.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, like today, those people were looking for me. Right. So they have not had any interaction, and so just being able to come and face to face, and and see someone else, I mean, it meant the world to them. So today was a good day, and I'm just glad I was able to share my passion of music and dance with someone else, and help them lose weight, or just for a mental stress reliever. It does all of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And bodybuilding, that's just like, I feel like that's just all me. Right. It's it's something I can do for myself. And I just like challenges, and I feel like that's the one thing that I need. One thing that can challenge me. So I'm not good at it. I'm not great at it, but I want to be. So, yeah.
So where do you see yourself if we get back to the new normal or the old normal or whatever that is? Where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
I see myself as a bikini pro. I see myself helping others obtain the same. Mm-hmm. I also see myself still doing nuclear medicine.
Right.
Because that is my love. And I hope that I am still able to teach. So I really would like to see myself doing the same thing, but maybe helping more people, and maybe just having an opportunity to do it at several other places.
Gotcha. Okay, so you said you've been teaching Zumba for about 10 years, or almost 10 years now.
Almost 10 years, yes.
What's your taste in music like?
Oh, with Zumba, we go all over the world, but I like dance hall. Mm-hmm. I like Latin music, so that I will say. So I mean, I really like it all, but dance hall is probably my favorite.
Okay, and
reggae, all of that.
Okay, so what's the difference between Zumba and like a regular aerobic dance class?
Well, so with Zumba, we don't talk in class. Okay. We do nonverbal cueing. So it's really all about the music. Mm. It's all about the music. So you really get an opportunity you feel it, mm-hmm. and you're able to express more, I feel like.
Got
It's easier to pick up because things repeat over and over again, and you can make it as hard or as easy as you want. Any age group can do it. We've had blind people do it. We've had deaf people do it, and are really, really good at it. So I mean, I just feel like it's one of those classes that you can have all generations in there and have fun.
Gotcha. All right, that sounds like a good ending point for me. I want to get you back later, if possible, talk more about that Zumba. But
Yes.
before I get you out of here, what are your social media handles?
So I am on Facebook, and you can find me at LaTasha, LaTasha, last name Estus, Estus. And then I am on Instagram at naturally_fit with 2 T's.
Gotcha. We certainly appreciate you coming on with us, LaTasha. This has been another episode of For the Health of It, and I'm your host, Corian K. Padgett.
Thank you.